Hawker Grove lunch procedures. When is your lunch? If you are a 7th grader, you will eat with your 3rd hour class, and if you are an 8th grader, you will eat with your 4th hour class. Where do you sit? You will sit with the same classes. If you are a 7th grader, you will sit with your 3rd hour class, and if you are an 8th grader, you sit with your 4th hour class. On each table, you will find a form that looks like this. You will find your teacher name at the top, so the teacher who you are going to lunch with. You will then find your name that will be underneath which lunch you are attending, either 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th lunch. And that will tell you what side of the table you will sit on. Here's how we will sit at lunch. You will sit 6 feet apart at the end of each bench. You will not be sitting in the middle together. The form with the arrow will tell you which side of the bench you are on. We will only be using one side of the table for seating. The other side of the table will be folded up and will remain that way throughout the lunch. How do you line up to get your food? Only 2 students will be lined up at a time outside of the lunch doors at all times. They will be 6 feet apart, and you will follow the dots on the outside of the lunch. There are also red dots inside the food area that will keep students 6 feet apart. You will follow those red dots and proceed through the line one at a time. Hallway behavior on the way to lunch. As a class, you will walk to lunch together 6 feet apart, and your teacher will pick you up at the end of lunch, and you will walk back to lunch following the hallway guidelines staying 6 feet apart. When can you take off your mask during lunch? Masks can only be removed while seated and eating. Masks should be worn anytime you are not seated. If you are up walking around the lunchroom, if you've raised your hand for permission, you should have your mask on. Your mask should be on when entering and exiting the NPR. Your mask should be on when you are getting your food, and your mask should be on when you are cleaning up your area. As soon as you are finished eating, you need to put your mask back on. What do I do if I have to get out of my seat? Put your mask on, raise your hand, and lunch supervisors will give you permission. And if you have to go to the restroom, a supervisor will fill out a pass for you. If you have any questions, please ask your Eagle Hour teacher or your lunchroom supervisors.